Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to talk about Pascal's triangle. We're going to use it for something called binomial expansion. Okay. What if we had to expand x plus 5 to the fourth? Well, in the past that would mean x plus 5, x plus 5, x plus 5, x plus 5, and you would have to distribute out the entire thing. Well, with Pascal's triangle, and something called the binomial theorem, we can use this triangle to create the expression that means the same thing. Now, real quick, how to build a triangle. The ones are on the outside. So, one's on the outside, one's on the outside. The number here is what you get when you add these two. So, you get a 3, 4, 6, 4. And then it'll just keep going. The next line would be 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1, and so on. So, how does this work? Well, you have two terms in here, an A and a B. Notice that the powers of A go down, and notice that the powers of B go up, and notice that the coefficients match the correct line of Pascal's triangle. It's easier when you see an example, so let's try this problem. X plus 5 to the fourth. Well, let's go back to Pascal's triangle. This is the 0 power, the first power, the second power, the third power, the fourth power. So we're going to use this line, 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. Those are going to be the coefficients that we use for right now. So 1 plus 4 plus 6 plus 4 plus 1. What are the two terms that I have? Well, one of them is x. So I'm going to put x, 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 and x. And the other term is 5. So I'm going to put 5, 5, 5, 5, and 5. Okay? Powers. Powers on the x, the first term, start at the biggest power, which is 4, and they go down. Powers on the 5, the second term, start at 0 and go up. You can always double check yourself because the sum of the two powers has to equal the original power. So 4 plus 0 is 4, 3 plus 1 is 4, 2 plus 2 is 4. Now that we've expanded it, let's simplify it. This one's really easy. This is just x to the fourth. Plus 4 times 5 is 20. X to the third. Plus 5 squared is 25. Times 6 would be 150. X squared plus 5 to the third is 125. 125 times 4 would be 500. X plus 5 to the fourth. Well, I might need a calculator for that one. 5 to the fourth. 625. 625. Much faster than if I had to FOIL everything out. Again, the coefficients come from Pascal's triangle. The x's and the 5's come from the two terms in the binomial. The powers go down on the first term and go up on the second term. Let's try one that's a little bit more complicated. I want the fifth power of Pascal's triangle, so it's this line that I did here a second ago. 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. So those are the coefficients. 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. The A term this time is 3x. So 3x, 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 and 3x. And the B term is negative 4y. Now, why does the negative matter? Because if I raise a negative to an even power, it's going to become positive. If I raise it to an odd power, it's going to stay negative. seems like a lot, but it's still a lot faster than what would happen if I were to distribute this out. Raising something to the fifth power takes a lot of time. So, what are the powers going to be? Well, we start with the A value. The biggest power is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. The B value, we start with 0 and we go up. Again, you can always double check yourself because the sum of the two powers has to equal the power we started with. So 4 plus 1, 3 plus 2, 2 plus 3. Notice something. Every place that there was an odd power on this negative is going to end up being minus in between. So the signs here are going to alternate. So for the first one, it's just 3x to the fifth, which is 243 x to the fifth. I went ahead and did it ahead of time, so I didn't have to do it on the board. Minus, because now I have a negative power. 5 times 3 to the fourth times 4 is 1,620. X to the fourth, y to the first. This next term is going to be positive because it's a negative squared. So I'm going to do 10 times 3 to the third times 4 to the second, which is positive 4,320. X cubed, y squared. The next term is going to be negative because it's a negative to the third power. 10 times 3 squared times 4 to the third is 5,760. X squared, y cubed. 5 times 3 times negative 4 to the fourth. Well, negative 4 to the fourth is going to be positive. 3,840. I'm down to x to the first, y to the fourth. I'm out of room, so I'll just write it right here. This last term is going to be negative because it's an odd power. This is 1. Anything to the 0 is 1. So then the last thing is just 4 to the fifth, which is negative 1,024. X to the 0, y to the fifth. Okay. Binomial expansion using Pascal's triangle.